Revolutionary Guards against the Iranian people and the Revolutionary Guards' death plan against their opponents in Iran is already prepared and has in effect launched a broad regional war. Hezbollah thought it was saving Iran. Instead, it became the next target. 17 Iranian vessels, including a submarine, have been destroyed. In addition to all of this, an American submarine sank the largest Iranian Navy ship, and more than 100 are missing. At least 101 people are missing and 78 were injured in what appears to be an American strike against Iran's largest Navy ship. In the IDF, they point to a drop of more than 50% in the missile launchers from Iran towards Israel. It seems that the drone array and the Israeli fighter jets located launchers that emerged from tunnels in western Iran and struck them within minutes. In the military, they assess that fear amongst the crews is affecting the pace of fire towards Israel. While at the beginning of the war, the Israeli military assassinated the top echelon of the Ayatollah regime in the past day, its activity has been directed, amongst other things, at striking Iranian commanders operating in Lebanon. And since the start of the war, about 300 missile launchers have been hit inside Iran, and in addition, for the first time in world history, an F-35 shot down a manned fighter aircraft, and this is also the first shutdown in more than 40 years by the Air Force of such an aircraft. This was a Yak-130. The Iranian aircraft took off in an area where there were Israeli aircrafts in the skies. It was identified and was shut down. The United States is also pushing deeper because when we're under attack, the Air Force is taking ground in the skies of Iran. And we see attacks and advances in the air, in the sea, in space, and also in the cyber sphere. And this is already the language of an ongoing campaign, not of just one blow. In the heart of Tehran, the Air Force struck security buildings inside the leadership compound of the regime. In the military, they note centers such as the Presidential Office, the building of the Supreme National Security Council, and the gathering place of the most senior security forum. This is not another warehouse. This is an area that symbolizes sovereignty, control, the political security center of gravity. And when it is hit, the message is freedom of air action deep inside Iran, and intelligence superiority that makes it possible to reach even places that were supposed to be inaccessible. In parallel, production sites and launchers of ballistic missiles were struck in Tehran and Isfahan. In the IDF, they speak of dozens of launchers and stored sites intended to be used for fire towards Israel. And in numbers, since the start of the war, about 300 missile launchers have been hit in Iran, and the scope of munitions dropped in Iran so far, it is estimated at about 4,000. It is not a bombing. This is a sustained effort to reduce the amount of fire, dry up the stockpiles, and ensure that every launcher that comes out will be exposed within minutes. Here the concept that returns again and again today, the launcher hunting. That's what it's called, launcher hunting. In the IDF, they point to a drop of more than 50% in the missile launchers from Iran compared to a parallel time period in the previous campaign. And behind this stands intensive activity in western Iran, an era from which a large part of the fire originates. The drone array is over the area 24/7. Each platform has different area of responsibility. It scans for suspicious movements, and the moment a launcher is identified coming out of a tunnel, a rapid strike is carried out. Sometimes a fighter jet's waiting in that area, sometimes a drone itself. In Israel, they assess that the fear of the crews has already entered the equation. When a launcher operator understands that the chance of being exposed is high, the action becomes for him almost a suicide mission. And this is reflecting in the pace of fire. And now, within that fifth day, a pattern-breaking moment arrives in the skies. History in the skies over Tehran. For the first time in the world, an F-35I Adir shot down a manned fighter aircraft. This is an Iranian Yak-130. The Iranians put it in the air in an area where there were Israeli aircrafts. And a security source said that the Iranian pilot made a mistake and we brought him down. In the IDF, they explained that the shutdown was carried out not by the strike aircrafts, but by the escort aircrafts that accompanied every formation, whose role is to remove threats on the way out and on the way back. The technical story here is very important for the audience because it explains what Iran tried to do. The Yak-130 is a Russian aircraft intended mainly for advanced training, but it is also capable of reconnaissance, light attacks, and interception missions. According to reports, the Iranians operated it for patrols over Tehran, and at times armed with short-range air-to-air missiles. One of the models mentioned is the R-73, which is a Russian advanced missile of its kind for intercepting aerial threats. The data is familiar. Maximum speed around 1,060 kilometers per hour. Maximum that stuck. It has a hole in its side right now. He's talking about the submarine, of course. And in the maritime arena, the IDF doesn't need to invent. The United States does it with a massive navy. According to that update, there is currently not one Iranian ship in the Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Gulf of Oman, at least according to the American claims. This is a direct impact on Iran's ability to project power, apply pressure, and hold a maritime route as a constant threat. And within this drama, an event also arrives that shakes the entire arena. The Iranian Navy ship Iris Dena was attacked at sea near the coast of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka forces reported distress calls and the activation of vessels and aircrafts for rescue. The numbers are harsh, at least 101 missing and 78 wounded. Reports speak of a crew of about 180 on the ship at the time of the event and rescue of dozens to the hospitals. This is not only damage to a vessel, this is damage to a symbol. It signals to every Iranian officers, even in the far sea, you are not immune. And what is happening on the American offensive side, in the air? That's where the names and the audience are coming in. The CENTCOM commander spoke about the stealth B-2 bombers together with the B-1s that carried out focused strikes against missile sites deep inside Iran. He spoke about continued hunting of the last remaining ballistic missile launchers, and he revealed first operational use of long-range precision strike missiles of the PRSM type, a capability that provides deep and fast strikes at significant ranges. Alongside that, he claimed that the United States launched a large number of loitering suicide drones and that they produced a massive result. And he added a detail aimed directly at consciousness. According to him, the drones were originally Iranian-made and then brought to the United States, upgraded, and fired back at Iran.